Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry. We are still on the Tatarigoroshi chapter. This should be episode 6 of the Tatarigoroshi series. I'm trying to get at least one of these out a week. I just recently got a new capture card, so I've been doing a lot more streaming in the past week. But I'll try and find like a healthy balance so I can get more of these up, because I know that there's a lot of people that really enjoy watching the Higurashi series. So I'll try and put more of them up.
守りたいと思う心に嘘はなかった。大切にしたいと思う心は誰よりも強いはずだった。優しさから生まれた感情はやがて殺意へと変わり、真っ白だった思いは赤と黒で染まってゆく。それが守りたかった日常の崩壊を意味していると分かっていながら、たたり殺し。
Tatarigoroshi.
何が間違っていたのか、その答えを探して悲劇はさらに広がってゆく。
Well, okay.
北条さんは今日もお休みですか？古出さんは何か知っていますか？
So in our last episode, Satoko stayed home and we got interrogated by Oishi, Detective Oishi, who we really don't like. So I don't think we found out what's going on with Satoko yet and why she isn't at school. Teacher voice wasn't critical, but Rika-chan hung her head, unable to answer, and I felt really bad for her. Teacher called Rika-chan up and they had an exchange in hushed tones at the dais. First, Rika-chan said that Satoko's fever had grown worse, but everyone in class knew it was a lie. Because every day, Rika-chan brought Satoko's bento with her.
さとこちゃん、どうしちゃったんだろうね。
I wonder, because we found out that the uncle is back in town. I wonder if the uncle has hold of her. The one who wants to know most of all. Like, maybe she's back living with him? Because we found out in our last episode that he was like a criminal and that he had just moved back to Hinamizawa. It's already the 3rd day since Satoko's first absence. Ever since then, I haven't felt good. Till just last Sunday, everything had been so much fun. Reached out to Satoko like a real older brother, and we spent that time quietly but warm and comfortable. So why had it suddenly been flipped over? The more I thought about it, the more I thought that the world had taken a turn for the worse ever since Oishi had arrived. Thinking on it now, maybe the strange apprehensions plaguing me the night before Oishi arrived had been a sign. Kurado Oishi, Oishiro-sama's servant.
そんなことあるもんか。あいつが現れたから、サトコが今年のタタリに会う役だなんて決められてたまるかよ。
Just what sort of slip-up had I committed to cause those fun times to end so suddenly? Yes, it was the day before Oishi appeared. Shion, Mion, and Reina had spoken of the curse surrounding Satoshi and the disappearance, and it was so sinister it gave me a bad premonition. Such a small thing was a slip-up that invited Oishiro-sama's servant? It was absurd. I kept on groaning to myself that I would ever accept it, ever. I obviously wasn't the only one suppressing my feelings. Mion and Reina were too. Everyone in the class was doing it. Rika-chan knew something about Satoko's situation, but she wouldn't tell us. Rika-chan still held a calm attitude like a cat basking in the sun, but she was being unbelievably stubborn about this whole thing. She didn't want to tell us, and that wouldn't change, no matter how many times we asked her. Everyone understood that, so nobody questioned her.
リカちゃんが言わないならさ、言うまで待つしかないよね。逆に言わないってことは言う必要もない程度のことかもしれないし。
There's no persuasive power in reassurance given with an anxious face like that. Mion was being taciturn, and I just looked up at the sky with a somehow annoyed expression. Couldn't tell if she was unhappy that Rika-chan wouldn't talk about it with her own friends, or if she was concerned over Satoko's well-being. Maybe it's both. And what about me? My anxiety was suffocating me, day after day. If someone else were looking at me, then maybe I'd look annoyed like Mion did. Tap tap. Someone tapped my shoulder. It was Tomita-kun or Nokamura-kun.
前原さん、ちょっといいですか？
またボールが引っかかったか？今度はお前たちで何とかしてみろよ。いつまでも先輩に頼るのは良くないぜ。
Didn't feel like going along with him, so I was a little unsympathetic with our response.
ちょっと気になる噂を聞いたんすよ。
Interesting rumor.
噂？
はい。ひょっとすると関係があるかもと思って。
Is it about the uncle? Rumor. About Satoko. They hadn't said that, but It didn't seem unrelated. Didn't want to talk in the classroom, so they pulled me behind the school building and lending further credence to that thought. Back of the school was damp and humid like always. Students didn't really come here because they wanted to. Might, however, been the ideal location for trading rumors away from prying eyes.
富田君、岡村君、その噂話ってもちろん聡子の欠席と関係のある話なんだろうな。
関係があるかはわからないですけど、あるいは
聡子は一体どうしたってんだ？風邪なのか？それともひょっとしてもっと重い病気か怪我か何かで。
いえ、それがむしろ逆で、うちのばあちゃんの話だと昨日の昼にうちの店に豆腐を買いに来たらしいんです。
But then why would she be at school? Oh, Tomita's family runs a tofu shop, added Okamura-kun.
豆腐屋さんに買い物？
But why would she go shopping and not come to school? My voice sounds so stupefied, even I can tell. It was understandable. I was worried about what grave illness or injury she had when the person herself had been out and about, shopping for tofu.
で、聡子はどうだったんだよ？元気そうだったのか？それとも病み上がりでマスクでもしてたとか、松葉杖で包帯だらけだったとか。
いえ、別に病気とか怪我とかそういうわけじゃなかったらしいんですが。
She had felt relieved that it wasn't an illness or an injury, but my anxiety wasn't going away, because Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun's expressions weren't looking any better.
絹ごし豆腐を一丁買っていったそうなんですが、ばあちゃんが言うにはおかしいと。
おかしい？なぜ？絹ごし豆腐を買って何が悪い？
Irritated by how roundabout they were being, I had to desperately fight that irritation from creeping into my voice.
北条とフルデってほら二人暮らしでそんなにお金持ちってわけじゃないですよね。だから二人はいつも安い木綿豆腐しか買わないんです。一番高い絹ごし豆腐なんか買ったことないんです。
木綿だって絹ごしだってどっちも豆腐だろ。たまにはうまい豆腐が食いたくなっただけかもしれないじゃないか。
それはそうですけど。
Knew how transparent I sounded right then. It wasn't anything trivial, it was some kind of important clue. Not the cheap firm tofu, but the expensive soft kind. Shopping not in the evening after school, but in the middle of the day. Couldn't figure out what those things meant. As I thought hard about it, Okamura-kun took his turn to speak.
次は僕っすね。これも噂なんですけど、帰ってきたらしいんですよ。
The uncle. It's gotta be the uncle, right?
帰ってきた？何が？誰が？
Sorry, I'm also... simultaneously, I'm going to try not to cough into the microphone. I'm still getting over being sick from last week. So I might be drinking a lot of water this episode too, but I'll try not to cough into the mic because that's gross. Hojo's uncle. Satoko's uncle. Right, I think Coach told me about him. He's the one that was like abusive to Satoko and her brother Satoshi. Her uncle had taken them in after Satoko and Satoshi lost their parents in the accident.
去年のお社様のたたりで怖くなって町に逃げたっていう。こいつヤクザみたいな怖くて乱暴なやつで。
Everything Coach told me came back in bits and pieces. Right. Mean aunt and uncle who had tormented them all the time. I think he said that after their aunt was beaten to death by the deviant, he ran away to his lover's house in Okanomiya in fear of the curse.
そいつが帰ってくると、どうして聡子が学校を休んで真っ昼間に絹ごし豆腐を買う羽目になるんだ？
Well, if she's living with her uncle now, and he's like abusive, maybe she's cooking for him. Underclassmen clammed up and looked downwards. Must have been some big hint buried in there. Even if I didn't understand, if I told Mio and Arena about it, maybe they'd know something.
あ、ごめんな二人とも。せっかく好意で話を聞かせてくれたのに、なんだか問い詰めるような言い方になっちゃって。
あ、いえ、いいっすよ。北条が重病で寝たきりになってないことが分かっただけでも。
Yeah, so I mean, that's positive.
儲けもんじゃないですか。
Might be true. But it still won't make the clouds over my mind fade away.
前原さん、ほらあれ!
Kumara-kun cried wildly, pointing over the shoulders behind me. Startled, I turned around, and way on the other side of the schoolyard, near the school gate, I saw a figure trudging forth. Satoko, she looks so sad. Look how sad her eyes are. Burst into a run faster than I could speak, so that as quickly as possible I could see with my own eyes that she was okay.
Satoko!
Satoko seemed taken aback by me shouting and running over to her.
まあ、なんですの、ケイイチさん。突然大声を出して走ってくるから何事かと驚きました。
Don't put on the brave face, Satoko.
バカ!
Tell Nini all about it. Tell me everything.
それよりどうしたってんだよ、サトコ。俺心配で心配で。
心配性ですわね。たかだか3日ですわよ。もうケイイチさんは心配性なんですから。
3 days, Satoko. Tell me everything that happened. Listening to her, she seemed like the normal Satoko, but I could tell she was clearly acting strangely. Her smile was somehow forlorn, and her complexion was bad for some reason.
宝蔵、大丈夫だったのかよ。風邪とかじゃないのか？
Mitoko and Okamura-kun both expressed their concerns.
一体どうしたってんだよ。3日も俺がどれだけ心配してたか。
ごめんあそばせですわ。ちょっとお家のお掃除をしたりしてたんですのよ。だいぶ長いこと使ってませんでしたから、もう家中ほこりだらけでして。
はあ？サトコ、お前何を言ってん
Like
だ？
her old house, where she used to live?
なんで家の掃除なんかで学校を休まなきゃなんないんだ？
Satoko didn't answer me. Instead, she passed by me and headed for the entrance.
もう今はお弁当の時間ではありませんの。私はお腹が空いてますのよ。
Is it because maybe her uncle is living there now? It was certainly lunch break. Couldn't force her to stop after she told me she wanted lunch and she was so hungry.
まあいいや。リカちゃんは3日間毎日お前の弁当を持ってきてくれてるんだぜ。今日はちゃんと食べてやれそうだな。とにかく早く教室へ行こう。みんなを安心させてやろうぜ。
そうですわね。皆さんにご心配をおかけしてしまったかもしれませんわね。あははは。人気者は辛いでございますわ。
She's putting up a front. Put a hand on Satoko's shoulder and we ran to the classroom together. Up close, I was able to verify that Satoko looked somehow weak. All this anxiety was supposed to go away when I saw her again. That's what I had thought. Now I actually started to have quite different fears. What the heck happened, Satoko? Everyone in the class, of course, reacted in the same exact way I had. We worried about you. I'm glad to see you well. What were you doing for 3 days? Classmates showered her in questions.
本当にご迷惑をおかけしましたわね。あははは。
She cackled. She chowed down on the bento Rika-chan had made for her. Those in the teacher's lounge must have been informed of Satoko's arrival because our teacher sprinted in the classroom, her breathing ragged.
宝城さん。
あら先生、3日間もご心配をおかけしましたわね。あははは。ご覧の通り元気でピンピンしてますわ。
Remains to be seen.
もう本当に心配してたんですからね。お弁当が食べ終わったら職員室に来るんですよ。いろいろとお話があります。
3日もサボったからきっと大目玉に違いありませんわね。
Satoko laughed sheepishly while she scratched her head, and the rest of the class burst out into laughter. Teacher was acting angry, but she breathed a sigh of relief at seeing Satoko healthy and smiling, as she ate her lunch with the class surrounding her.
でも安心したよな、レナ。
あ、ごめん。無事でよかったよね。
She looks worried too. Looked at Reina and knew. She had a sense that something about Satoko was off too. Looked to see Mion detached from the clamor as well, with a somewhat grim expression. Rika-chan, on the other hand, was smiling from ear to ear. She spread out the bento boxes, one by one, as Satoko finished them. Finally, Satoko was satisfied, and after enjoying a thorough conversation with her classmates, remembered that she'd been called to the teacher's lounge. You about to get chewed out.
めんどくさいんですけど、行かないともっと怒られてしまいそうですからね。僕も一緒に行きますですよ。
Satoko rises from her seat, and Rika-chan runs over to her.
ごめんあそばせケイチさん。ちょっと怒られてまいりますわ。
おう。なんだったら俺も一緒に付き合うぜ。例のカレーの悪口の時、 一緒に職員室で怒られた仲じゃねえか。
それには及ばないのです。圭一はここでお留守番なのですよ。
Rika-chan's words were gentle, but the firm rejection was clear in her eyes. They're gonna go talk about the uncle, maybe? Two of them exited into the hallway, walking shoulder to shoulder. After seeing them off, the class breathed a collective sigh of relief, broke apart, and went back to their usual lunch break banter. We, however, couldn't go back to how we usually were. Not I, nor Mion, and of course not Reina. They started the classroom exit Satoko and Rika-chan had left through, their expressions a little distant and grim.
俺たちは仲間だ。そうだろう、みんな。
Blurted out something strange, so Mion and Reina turned around with dubious expressions.
俺は仲間に隠し事はしない。だから、さっき聞いたばかりのことを言う。
Told them the stories I heard from Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun earlier, about the tofu shop and how Satoko's uncle had apparently come back. All at once, without letting them speak.
これが俺の知るすべてだ。だからミオンもレナもしていることがあるなら話してくれ。俺は俺の知るすべてを話したぞ。
Ended my sentence firmly and looked into Mion and Reina's eyes in turn. Reina stared right back at me. Her eyes didn't falter. Not even opening her mouth, I could tell she wasn't hiding anything. Then our gazes turned to Mion.
別に私は隠して黙ってるわけじゃないよ。
Mion couldn't seem to endure our silent stares and began to talk timidly, as if she was guilty of something.
でもケイちゃんが話したなら私も話さないわけにはいかな
I
いよ
figured
ね。
that she probably knew about it. I mean, she's like the head of the Sonozaki family, essentially. And they have eyes and ears
姉ちゃ
everywhere.
ん、何か知ってるの？
いや、その聡子のおじが帰ってきたってのこの間の日曜日にふらっとひなみ沢に帰ってきたって。
And the girl that he had left Hinamizawa with, she was the one that washed up behind that that apartment complex, the one that was in that ravine.
どうしてそれを黙って
So
た
I guess that's why he left, because his girlfriend was dead.
ごめん。
My angry shout caused Mion to flinch away, look down, and hang her head uncomfortably.
圭一くん、怒るようなことじゃないよ。みーちゃん怖がってる。
I mean, we can get a little bit upset. We thought that she was hurt.
ごめん。つい大声を。
Like, we shouldn't be shouting, but we can be angry. Lowered my head in apology. Mion accepted it, collected herself, and continued. According to her, her uncle's relationship with his lover, whom he had been with in Okonomiya, had collapsed. Well, because she's dead. Without anywhere to go, he went back home to Hinamizawa. And on that Sunday, the day of the barbecue, her uncle ran into Satoko and brought her back to the house.
自宅になんで連れ戻すんだよ。
Probably like to be his little servant.
ろくでなしの怠け者だからね。自分一人じゃ炊事はおろか掃除一つできないし。
So that's what she's been doing. She's been cooking and cleaning for him.
そんな炊事やお掃除のために聡子ちゃんを連れ戻したっていうの？
Remember that she said she'd been cleaning the house when I met her back at the school gate. A moment later, the pieces fell into place, into the jigsaw puzzle of unease. And as for what the puzzle depicted, when I saw it from afar, I could see the answer clearly. She's exhausted.
聡子が家に閉じ込められていじめられながら家事をやらされてるっていう噂なんだよ。
Mm-hmm. You knew that? Why didn't you speak up? I really yelled at Mion, but I hastily stopped myself.
みーちゃん、それ本当なの？
私がこの目で確かめたわけじゃないから本当かどうかは知らないけど。
Mion looked down again and, staring at the floor, grew quiet.
去年みたいに意地悪なおじさん夫婦のところで暮らしてた時みたいに？
I guess that's a yes.
でもさ、そのおじさんって家事はからっきしなんだろ。聡子が重宝なわけだから何もひどい扱いをしているってわけじゃないかもしれないだろ。
圭一くん、何を根拠に言ってるのか知らないけど、いい加減なことは言わない方がいいよ。
Why am I in trouble now? Now I'm in trouble for saying something? Rena clearly and directly got mad at me. You don't know much about this, so don't talk as though you do. Yes, that's clearly what you meant.
じゃあレナは知ってるのかよ。
私だって知らないよ。今ここで聞くまでさとこちゃんがおじさんの家に連れ戻されたなんて。でもね、1年前とはまるで状況が違うの。
状況が違うって。
Because she doesn't have her brother there to protect her.
サトシくんがいない。
Yep, Satoshi isn't here. So now everything's being directed just at her.
すごく妹思いのいい兄だったんだよ。いつもサトコをかばってた。意地悪なおじおばのとばっちりが少しでもサトコにかぶらないように
But now there's no buffer.
盾になってくれてた。
家には意地悪なおじさんとさとこちゃんが2人きりなんだよ。それがどれだけ行き詰まるものか、ケイチくんにだって想像。ひなみ沢に帰ってきた理由だって、一緒に暮らしてた相手が失踪して生活できなくなったからでしょ。そんな不愉快な理由で帰ってきた人がどうしてさとこちゃんに優しくできるっていうの？
Probably not. She was right. It wasn't easy for me to imagine Satoko not being tormented.
ごめん。
こっちこそごめん。問い詰めるような口調になっちゃったね。
We're a little on edge, while walking on eggshells. An awkward atmosphere floated among us. Three of us remained silent and just stared at the floor. Finally, we heard the principal's bell ringing. Teacher came back with Satoko and Rika-chan at her side.
さあさあ、午後の授業を始めますよ。委員長、号令。起立。
ごめんなさいね。失礼。
Couldn't read anything from Satoko's vaguely sheepish expression, but given the clouded look Rika-chan was wearing behind her, it's tough to laugh off the disquieting story I'd heard from Mion.
よーし、久々に全メンバーが揃ったからね。久しぶりにパーッと大部活で盛り上がろうじゃ
I
ない
feel like
の。
it's been forever since we've had a freaking club activity. Yeah, perfect. Indeed, in times like these, the best thing to do is obviously get rowdy and scheme against one each other in club activity.
望むところだよ。ねえさとこちゃん、やろう。
Satoko's gonna leave, isn't she?
サトコが好きだったゲームあるでしょ。ほら、なんだったっけ。なんでも構わないよ。言ってみ。
Mion laughed happily, took a bunch of games out of the club locker, and lined them up on the desks. I think that was the first time Mion's ever let someone else decide on a game for her. I could tell she was being especially considerate to Satoko, thinking that whatever her circumstances, if we could just enjoy our time together as a group, that might be some comfort, some diversion. Satoko seemed to understand her feelings too, and smiled vaguely, though pleased. But her head moved from side to side.
ありがたいですけど、お気持ちだけで結構ですわ。いろいろしなければならないことがありますので。
Yeah, she's gonna leave. Even Rika-chan hung her head in remorse.
おい、本気なわけ？部活メンバーが久しぶりに揃ったってのにお流れになっちゃうわけ？敵前逃亡は罰ゲームってのは快速第何条だったっけ？
やめなよみーちゃん。無理に付き合わせちゃダメだよ。
別におじさんは無理強いしてるわけじゃないよ。ただ大盛り上がりした方が絶対に楽しいと思って。
I gotta go home and take care of her stupid uncle.
本当にお気持ちだけで嬉しいんですのよ。ご安心なさいませ。次に戦うときは皆さんまとめてでっかい罠にはめてご覧に入れますわ。
She's trying so hard not to make us worry. Satoko, while insulting us, still said she couldn't participate in the club today and apologized. She quickly put her things into her bag and pattered out into the hallway, disappearing. It all happened in the blink of an eye.
さとこ。
Rika-chan stared lonesomely as her friend hurried home, unable to be part of club activities. Silence filled the classroom. Both the cheerful voices of our classmates in the schoolyard and the voices of the cicadas sound like they were coming from some faraway world.
つまんないの。
Silence was broken by Mion's bitterness, as she began putting the games on the desk back into the locker. Everyone just stared absently at Satoko's seat, now empty.
リカちゃん、そろそろ話してくれてもいいんじゃないかな。
Rena made a gentle smile as she possibly could and spoke softly to Rika-chan. Even without hearing it from her, we pretty much knew the situation at this point. Satoko's uncle had broken up with his lover, come back home to Hinamizawa, and he had taken Satoko back home and forced her to do all the household work. And that all had to be pretty rough on her. Thinking this was common knowledge to everyone, I skipped to the important part.
どうなんだ
Maybe Mion and Reina wanted to ask the same question. Nobody spoke, we all just stared, waiting for Rika-chan's reply. Rika-chan still didn't answer us. We were hoping for her to say no, but her silence was a bad enough sign.
去年だっけおじ夫婦の元にいた時もこんな状況だったんだろ
うん。あの時は夫婦喧嘩のとばっちりみたいなのがほとんどだったからさ。こうして部活で時間を潰して家にいる時間を極力減らすのも一つの手だったんだけど、今は家事を強制されてるから学校に残ることもできないんだね。
Shit. Satoko's not a slave? Who do you think you are, ignoring your own inability to live properly and basically putting Satoko under house arrest?
常識的に考えてこんなのおかしいんじゃねえのか
1 second. Boop. Alright, yeah, sorry. Think about it, isn't this really strange?
いろいろと状況証拠は必要だろうけどこういうのって問題だろ警察とかに通報できないのかよ
Well, we tell the police that she's living with her uncle and doing chores?
そうだよね。証拠とかがあれば警察に通報できると思うよ。あるいはそういうのって沖宮の相談所の人とかに相談できないの？
Ren and I kept saying police, police as though it were nothing, but Mion's response sounded like she thought we were a little naive.
みんな簡単に言ってくれるけどさ、それを立証するリスクを考えたことある？
リスクってなんだよ
一昨年の冬かな。通報したんだよ。沖宮の相談所に。問題があるからすぐに何とかしてくれって。
What happened?
そうだったんだ。それで？
電話してすぐに職員の人が来てくれたよ。で、聡子とかサトシとかに事情聴取してた。ついでにおじ夫婦のところにもね。
サトコとサトシに聞くまではいいがおじ夫婦にまで聞くのはまずいんじゃないのか
両者の意見を聞いて総合的に判断するんだとさ。ご立派ご立派。
で、結果はどうだったの？
様子見。
様子見ってなんだよそれ
おじさんとっても勉強になっちゃったんだけどさ、法律ではね、暴行か育児放棄が認められなきゃ虐待とは言わないんだってさ。聡子もサトシもよく小づかれてたらしいけど、別に傷跡が残るようなレベルじゃなかったし。
So they're abusive, but they're not leaving any marks.
3食の飯も一応食えてたし、寝床もあったし、心理的外傷を与える言動だって別にカセットテープで証拠があったわけじゃないし、実際村の人たちだって実際に乱暴してる現場は見たことないからね。いくら意地悪だからって人前で乱暴はしないでしょ、誰だって。
So they're being very careful about their abuse. Like they're just like on the edge of abusing
その
them.
後どうなったの？
They're not like hitting them or beating them, but
毎週決まった日に担当の職員さんが訪問してたみたい。おじ夫婦も自分たちが見張られてることを気にして目立つ行動はしなくなったらしいけど、それで済むわけないでしょ普通。
より陰湿ないじめ方に加速していったってことだね。
Mion sighed and nodded.
おばのやつが特にねちっこくってさ、女特有の陰湿さっていうのかな。相当いやらしいことをしてたらしいよ。聡子、最後の方は呼吸するだけのボロ人形みたいだった。
What kind of disgusting things was she doing? So what? The conclusion, does that mean that they never should have contacted child welfare in the first place?
わかった？誰の目にも明らかな虐待の証拠がなかったら お手上げなんだよ。むしろ状況を悪化させかねない。あれは失敗だった。
They're hearing that even public organizations, the one thing they thought was defendable, couldn't do anything. Everyone hung their heads.
つまり誰の目にも明らかな虐待の証拠が見つかるまで通報すべきでないってことなんだね。
Well, it's going to be very hard for us to get it if Satoko won't admit it. If she won't talk to anyone.
まあそういうこと。
That sucks. Consider Satoko's current situation. She was brought back to her house. A little difficult to call that abuse. She's being tormented and forced to do the chores. How she was being tormented would be the key, but without concrete evidence, it would be difficult to prove. She had some kind of external injury that would work. As far as we could tell from today, she had nothing like that. Being forced to do the chores, that was a bit weak too. Maybe better evidence that she was without a doubt being abused. Ah, I know. Her uncle had ignored Satoko's existence for a whole year and went to live with his lover in town. Didn't that fall under one of the definitions of abuse that Mion had mentioned? Child neglect?
それは立派な育児放棄だね。どうなのみーちゃん。
おじが今もいなければ育児放棄は認定されそうだけど、今この瞬間は同居してるわけでしょ。
He's not neglecting her now.
今までは別居だったけど、心を入れ替えて同居することにしたなんて言われたら、また様子見なんてことになりかねないよ。
Once she reported it, we need to be absolutely sure they'd interpret it as abuse. Maybe we needed far more concrete evidence. Lest to repeat last year's mistake.
なんだか悲しい。
Yeah.
ということはつまりしばらくは黙って見てろってことなんだよね。
The only plan I could think of was, in the end, just watching and waiting. Left me in shock when I realized it would be the same policies of the officials who made the situations worse. Mion said reporting it to a public agency would be a gamble. If we were going to pick a fight, it would have to be one we couldn't afford to lose. If we were gambling without enough money, without enough evidence, our defeat would be assured. If we took the time to amass enough money, then we could be assured victory. And that would mean pretending we didn't see Satoko's plight for a considerable amount of time.
こんなところで話を振ってごめんな。リカちゃんはどうして一人暮らしができるんだ？
Mika-chan had lost her parents, if I recalled correctly. When I heard, she had no relatives either. She was forced to live on her own as a result, but her life was unfettered, free of restriction. She could somehow grant that freedom to Satoko too.
ほら、リカちゃんって両親いないのに生活してるだろ。保護者のいない子供って施設みたいなところに入れられちゃうんじゃないっけ？
Yeah, I was wondering about that too, but I think in our last chapter we had read that Rika and Satoko were like a special case because Rika's kind of like the village mascot, so all the elders take care of her.
ケイチ君、それひどい。
We're not being intentionally cruel.
悪口で言ってるんじゃねえよ。そこにサトコを救うヒントがあるかもしれないと思って聞いてみただけなんだ。リカちゃん、気分を害したならごめんな。
Yeah, because she's like the shrine maiden, they want to keep her in the village. Rika-chan shook her head, not particularly disturbed.
それはですね、実は村長さんちの子供になっているからなのです。
補足がいるね。村長の君吉のおじいちゃんがリカちゃんと県知事の許可を得た正式な。
養子みたいなものか？
養子とは違う。別に籍を入れなくても保護者にはなれるんだよ。
あ、分かってきた。つまりリカちゃんは普通に暮らしてるけど、法律の上では村長さんの家に住んでることになってるんだね。
So the mayor and the elders also watch out for her.
まあそんなとこ。そのおかげでリカちゃんは保護者から離れての生活を認められているってわけ。サトコはそこに居候してるってことになるけどね。
難しいことはよくわかりませんが、つまりはそういうことなのです。
ミオ、今興味深いことを言ったな。席が違っても保護者になれるみたいなことを言ったよな。じゃあ形だけでも村長さんとかがサトコの保護者になってくれればいいんじゃないのか？
I don't think you can do that if you have any living relatives. And she'd be in the same position as Rika-chan. She can go back to her old life.
ところがそうはいかないの。だって保護者のつもりなんだもん。
She already has a guardian, it's her uncle.
ちょっと待て、わけがわからなくなったぞ。そもそも保護者ってなんだ？
legal terms, a guardian and a parent weren't necessarily synonyms. So whoever was actually looking after her at home would be considered her guardian.
なら、おじは保護者じゃないな。ずっとサトコをほったらかしにしてた。
でも保護者だと主張されたらそれまでだよ。サトコが連れ戻されてから数日。その間の食事代は、おじの財布から出てるよね。一応面倒を見てると主張できなくもない。それに、1年間サトコをほったらかしたとはいえ、最初の1年間は生活の面倒を見た実績がある。でも村長にはその実績はない。
意地悪なおじさんと村長さんが同時に保護者を主張したら、おじさんの方が強いってこと？
Because he's family.
その可能性が高いってこと。それに、保護者ってのは実際に面倒を見てる人を指すんだよ。実際に寝床や食事を握ってるおじと名義だけ貸そうとしてる村長じゃどうにもならない。
じゃあ、村長が実際に生活の面倒を見ればいいじゃないか。そうすれば、名実ともに村長が保護者になれるんだろう。
Just need to shelter Satoko. Might lead to her uncle being desperate to take her back, but will stubbornly refuse him.
そんな簡単にはいかないよ。サトコは育ち盛りの女の子なんだよ。人間一人の面倒を見てくださいなんて、猫の子預けるのとはわけが違う。
じゃあ、監督はどうだよ。監督ってよくは知らないけど裕福なんだろ。自分で言ってたくらいなんだし、本当の親でなくても保護者になれるなら監督でも可能なんだ。
Yeah, Coach Irie. He really likes Satoko. He said he wanted to be her adoptive father and then one day marry her, which was really weird. That was a very strange introduction to him.
サトコの面倒を立派に見てくれる気がする。
だからサトコをペットみたいに考えないでって。ケイちゃんはさっきからサトコを誰かに押し付ける話ばっかり。人間一人の生活の面倒を見る責任ってものをもっと慎重に考えて。監督に聞いたの。サトコを引き取って面倒を見るってちゃんと確
He
約を
told
得た
us.
わけ。
He said that he wanted to adopt her.
そんなの得てないよ。でも監督なら絶対に OK するだろう。
Yeah, we've talked to him about this before.
まあいいよ。100歩譲って監督が OK したとするよ。でもダメなんだよ。保護者は独身じゃダメなんだよ。
Ah, that's right. Coach, didn't he say it himself? He was alone, so he couldn't do it. Shit, what the heck? Oh, is it because he's single and not married? Why is being single such a disadvantage in this society? Then all you could do is marry into a wealthy family, couldn't you? So let's hook him up. Let's get him Tinder. Let's get him hooked up with like a sugar mama. Or anything that wealthy in Hinamizawa.
難しそう。
Get him married.
ね、
Pimp him off.
簡単じゃないんだよ。人間一人引き取るってのは誰かに押し付けようなんて短絡的な考えがそもそもダメなの。考えが浅いんだよ、ケイちゃんは。
なんなんだよ、チクショー。俺は必死にサトコを救おうと考えてるのに、ダメだってそればっかり。お前ら本当はサトコのことなんかどうでもいいんだろ。仲間のこと本気で心配してないんだろ。どうなんだよ。
We're being a little bit angry here. We're lashing out a little bit.
そんなつもりないよ。でもそう簡単にはいかないっていうか。
そんな難しい話じゃねえだろ。裕福な奴がサトコをしばらく面倒見てくれればいい。そうだ、ミオンチはどうだよ。お前御三家とかいう立派な家柄なんだって自慢してたよな。話じゃものすごいでかい家に住んでるそうじゃないか。
I think Keiichi's missing the big point, which is that she's already got a guardian. She's got her uncle. Like, it's her family.
無理。そんなのバチャが許してくれるはずない。
じゃあ沖宮に住んでる親はどうだよ。聞いた話じゃこっちもかなりの豪邸に住んでるらしいじゃないか。町には親類の経営する店がたくさんあるそうだし、立派な資産家じゃないかよ。おい、
ダメ。沖宮の家なんてもっとダメ。うちのお父さんそんなの絶対に許さない。
おい、普段は散々大物ぶりを自慢しといて、ここ一番で及び腰かよ。なんだよお前、サトコを見殺しにする気かよ。
We're being awfully mean to Mion. It's not Mion's fault.
そんなつもりはないけど。そりゃ私だってサトコを助けてやりたいよ。 でもそれとこれじゃ話が。
話が違うってのかよ。冷てえやつ。仲間の危機だろ。ここで救わなかったら何なんだよ。部長だろ、部活の。救えよ、仲間の危機をよ。今ここで救わなかったら仲間じゃねえ、人じゃねえ。お前の人間性が問われてるんだよ。聞いてるのかよ、ミオン。
Wow. Keiichi, what the fuck, man? That was... You're not even human? It's not Mion's fault. They already tried something in the past. Keiichi, like, take 3 steps back, friend. Holy shit. My emotions all exploded out of me, and I didn't even give her a chance to say anything in response. Just wanted to make Mion agree with me, even if I had to force her. If she did, Satoko's problems would be solved. Pushing her would solve the issue, then I'd push her as much as I needed to.
何さっきから黙り込んでんだよ。聞いてるのかこの野郎。どうなんだよ。なんとか言ってるよ、その先ミオン。
We about to lose some friends.
みー、
You made Mion cry because you're being a dick. Mion, looking down with a grim face, began sobbing. Hands were clenched in trembling fists, and she rubbed her eyes to wipe away the tears. Was what I said actually that mean? Yes, yes it was. You called her an asshole. Isn't the time to cry? We're in the gambling room now, and we have to do something to save Satoko. As I thought that, Rena spoke, her voice cold and incredibly calm.
ケイチ君、みーちゃん家がダメなら他の裕福な家を探したら。私、ひなみ沢に立派な豪邸建てて住んでる人。
誰だよ。
白々しいよ。あれだけ立派な家に住んでて、自分の家だけは蚊帳の外。
俺んちかよ。俺の家は。
仲間なんでしょ。救ってよ、ケイチ君が。みーちゃんはダメだってさ、冷たい。じゃあ仲間思いのケイチ君がお手本示さなきゃダメだね。あれだけ大きなお家に家族3人で住んでるんだっけ。じゃあ空き部屋なんかいくらでもあるよね。余ってるお部屋いくつかさとこちゃんに分けてあげればいいじゃない。それでめでたくさとこちゃんの悩みは解決。あら何これでもう終わり。あっけない話だったね。はいはい解決、お疲れ様。じゃあもう今日はいい？私帰るね。ランランラン。今日は久しぶりに宝探しにでも行こうかな。
Rena is reading us hard.
昨日まではずっとさとこちゃんのことが心配で全然遊ぶ気になんかならなかったし、今日はどんな宝物が見つかるかな。はうー。なんか言ってよ。私だけ喋りずくめ。黙ってんじゃないわよ。聞いてんの？前原圭一。
That was... We needed that. Thank you, Rena. And the cicadas seemed to cower in fear. Rena, her shoulders bobbing up and down, and me, who had forgotten to breathe. Mion, whose face had gone completely pale, and Rika-chan, who was keeping silent as if nothing had happened. The atmosphere in the classroom grew tight and stiff, and it petrified us where we stood. Rattle. 10 of the chairs, Rena sat back down after having stood up, finally allowed everyone present to take a breath. Yeah, you kind of needed that, Keiichi. You were being a dick. Rena had shown me just how much I'd hurt Mion.
レナが怖いのです。
After a few moments, Rika-chan cut into the frozen air.
うん。ごめんね、リカちゃん。みーちゃんもごめん。ケイチ君には謝らなくてもいいよね。
ああ、ごめん。めちゃくちゃなこと言って悪かった。
Yeah, we got a little bit out of control there.
さっきのあれ、私に言ってたの？みーちゃん睨みながら言ってたから、私てっきりみーちゃんに言ってるもんだとばかり思ってた。
Rena, I love it when she switches personalities like this. Now she's being like a sarcastic asshole. Like, oh, were you saying that to me, or were you apologizing to Mion? Rena had such strength that you wouldn't have imagined it normally. All it did was spout terrible things as a wave of violent fury passed over me. I couldn't contend with her.
ミオン、ごめん。頭に血が上ってた。
Come to think of it, I didn't understand what had gotten me that riled up. Thought of myself as Satoko's Nini. So I only had good intentions. But I'd think about it a little bit harder than everyone else, and yet...
うん、いいよ。私こそ ケイちゃんが一生懸命悩んでるのに、あれはダメこれは
Well,
ダメばっかり
it's really not okay. We called her an asshole.
ごめんね。私も悪かった。
Mion rubbed away the tears at the corner of her eyes with her fists and apologized as well. Bowed our heads to each other, and I looked down without glancing at the other. Someone, I don't know who, heaved a sigh. Satoko being tormented had been known about since last year. How had the tragedy back then saved Satoko? How had they brought it to an end? Well, the aunt died, right? And then she had no one to live with? Satoshi disappeared and the aunt died. Her family died. So, right. Yeah, nobody could do anything. All they could do was bear it patiently and wait for those agonizing days to end. That's right. What brought an end to those terrible days was some crazy drug addict nobody knew. The night of Tanagashi last year, their main aunt had been beaten to death. It hadn't been done to save Satoko or Satoshi. Right. It was just a coincidence. Satoko's friends, who needed to do something for her most of all, could do nothing. The incident may have been a tragic one, but from Satoko's viewpoint, it was nothing less than a miracle. Yes, a miracle. A miracle one could only wait for.
待つしかないのかよ、俺たちには。
Not for evidence of abuse. Not for something that minor.
何をかな。
奇跡。
No one made fun of me for using such a crazy word. Couldn't come up with any solution, so it was the only thing we could do.
無力なんだよ、私たちは。
Pretty much. That one word Mion dropped was the finishing blow. It was hot. My body was sticky with sweat. The worst month, June. Yeah, we stepped over some boundaries there. I am very surprised that Mion was so quick to apologize and accept our apology in return. That was rough. Walked forward quite a ways and turned right where the rice fields ended. Never come here before, so I had no idea where to go. Got lost several times, so I may have taken a long way around. Maybe I should have gone back home and got my bike first. It would have made everyone else worried if I asked them, so I asked one of the other classmates where Satoko's actual house was. That house was originally her family's, apparently, not their uncle and his wife's. Their house had been bigger, so they had taken it for themselves. Right here. Several houses all in a line. Over there? Visiting Satoko's house, but didn't particularly intend to meet her there. Didn't mean to spy on the enemy. Her mean uncle either. Maybe I just wanted to be a little closer to her. As her Nini. Pretty words, but I didn't know if they were true. What Tomita-kun and the others told me was right. It'd be this house? When I recognized it, my feet grew heavy. What did I come here for? My motive for coming here was absurd. When Mion had said at the end that we were powerless, it made me sort of frustrated. I just wanted to do something, anything, rather than waste the days away praying for a miracle. That's what made me come here. But that was all. Even if I were to witness her her uncle actually tormenting Satoko, what could I do? Would I act like a comic book hero, punch the guy in the face, and take Satoko away with me? And then live together somewhere far away? That was ridiculous.
俺は無力だ。
Yeah, we can't really do anything until Satoko is willing to admit that she's being abused. Satoko's voices raised in chorus sound like they were scoffing at me. As though they were saying that if I couldn't do anything and wouldn't do anything, then I should go back home. Heard a car approaching, so I got out of its way. The car stopped right behind me, its horn honking shortly once. Annoyed. Hadn't I gotten out of their way? I looked behind me and a familiar face was looking at me from out of the driver's seat window.
監督、
Coach
こんにちは。
Irie.
前原、こんなところでお会いするとは本当に奇遇です。お家は近くなんですか？
No, we're just kind of being creepy. Me being here wasn't normal. Just I considered somehow giving him the slip, I noticed Satoko sitting in the passenger seat.
サトコ？
Satoko got out of the car and began unloading a lot of groceries from the trunk.
買い物の帰りに偶然監督にお会いしたんですのよ。
She looks so sad.
送ってくださるというのでお言葉に甘えたのですわ。
自転車でこんなに買い物をしたら
運びきれませんからね。
Coach spoke. He pulled Satoko's bike from out of the back seat where they'd put it. Grocery bags were big, and there were 4 of them. They all seemed to be packed full and very heavy.
この袋セブンスマート？おいおい、自転車で行くにはちょっと遠すぎないか？
Looked at the bags and saw they were filled to the brim with sake bottles, snacks that you'd eat with sake, and boxes of cigarettes. Weight was one thing, but their contents were nothing less than luxury items.
監督のおかげで助かりましたわ。ちょっと坂道は辛かったですから。
Satoko gave Coach a smile filled with gratitude, but it was incredibly awkward and even heartrending.
サトコ、この買い物今晩の晩飯ってわけじゃないだ
It
ろ。
hurt for dinner. You're not really going to make a sake and cigarette stew, are you? Keiichi's so
当
observant.
然ですわ。私、お酒なんか飲めませんし、おつまみも嫌いですし、タバコなんか吸うわけ。
He made Satoko go to a distant store by herself on her bike. She could buy dumb shit like this? What was the uncle doing right now anyway? Must have been working up a good sweat at this very moment if he needed to send Satoko out by herself, right? If not, then how much has Satoko suffered for no reason? I hadn't intended to voice my feelings, but they may have made it into my face. Coach might have noticed because he clapped me on the shoulder. Just then, one of the house windows clattered open, and the face of a vulgar man, the very sight of which made me immediately avert my eyes, emerged from within it. There were no self-introductions necessary. My gut told me that this was the uncle in question. First thing out of his mouth should have been words of gratitude for Satoko.
サトコ、缶のガスかけっぱなしで出よったんな、この。
ごめんなさい。でも、すぐに買いに行けって言ったから。
やかましいわ。せっかくの銀座台無しにしよってん。どうしよってんじゃ。
ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい。
Poor sad Satoko. Satoko miserably apologized over and over, bowing again and again. She could be perfectly described as a small animal. I had no idea what was happening. Satoko finished shopping for all this heavy stuff that wasn't even for dinner. She only managed to come back because she ran into Coach and he drove her home. She hadn't been found by him. She'd surely still be by herself, panting and moaning, pedaling her bicycle up that steep hill. What was with those words, those horrible, sleazy words that he said to Satoko? In what country's dictionary did it tell him to say such things to a young girl who just finished shopping? My anger, of course, wouldn't reach him. Uncle displayed no interest in me, instead shouting at Coach.
おや、入江の先生じゃないですか。こんにちは。そしたら先生も上がっていきますか。もうオーラスですからすぐ入れますよ。ピンのワンツー、何でもありで。
Oh, is he like gambling with his buddies?
いえ、遠慮します。サトコちゃんとは偶然お会いしたんで、すぐに失礼します。
そんな、ちょっとぐらいやっててください
I
な。
hate this guy.
先生お金持ちじゃないですか。
Didn't even understand what her uncle and Coach were talking about. Knew one thing for sure. None of what he just said had been to thank Satoko in any way.
サトコ、とっととカキも持ってこんかい。ビールも冷めてもうた。冷蔵庫から冷えてるの出してくれな。
てっちゃん、娘に厳しすぎや。もうちょいいたわらんとかわいそうやで。
Thank you, Thug. Thank you, Nameless
あ
Thug.
んな娘にゃ、兄貴んちにいた頃からそうでよ。甘やかすと親の言うことをなんも聞かんやっちゃよ。たく。
それよか、てっちゃんの妻だぜよ。
椿さんリーチしよったで。
おお、悪い悪い。なんね。椿、あん
Whatever
た
they're
またリ
playing.
ーチかいな。
Mahjong? Card? I have no idea. I don't think it wasn't just her uncle. Some of his friends were over. Hey, wait. What was he? No, what were they doing? Playing rude birds left and right, making Satoko go shopping for your beer? What were they doing? They're like playing a game. They're
町か
gambling.
らおじさまのお友達が来てて、
Playing Mahjong.
宴会やってますの。お友達のお夕食もご用意するように言われてますのよ。
なんだよそれ。
Mahjong? Called his friends over for Mahjong? We're too busy playing, so they sent Satoko to buy them a crapload of booze from a faraway store? The first thing he said to her was, "How shut the gas on?" The hell? What the hell?
何やってんだよあいつ。 麻雀って、そんなのに遊びほうけて、サトコにこんなのを買いに行かせるのかよ。
We're about to lose our cool again. Even though Coach was listening, he pretended he wasn't. A line of heavy-looking shopping bags lined up on the ground next to the trunk.
さあ、前原さんも手伝ってあげてください。ほら、男の子なんですから、こっちの。
監督、こんなのまかり通っていいんですか。こんなの絶対に。
Keiichi? Zip it. Coach pretended he hadn't heard that violent outburst either. When I thought about it later, his reaction might have been the best thing he could do in that situation.
私も2つ持ちますから。ほら、前原さんも持つのを手伝ってあげてください。
Bags were packed to the brim with bottles of sake and bar snacks. They were so heavy. And so filthy, so unfair. They weren't just heavy in terms of weight, they made me feel mortified. I think it could have been heavier than that.
ケイチさん、大丈夫ですのよ。自分で持ちますわ。
Satoko mistook my biting back the humiliation as grimacing under the weight and offered to help.
バカ、俺をなめるな。
Satoko had never looked down on my physical strength in the slightest. Gah, grr. It's just so sad.
監督もすみませんわね。重いでしょ？
No, not at all, answered Coach, smiling vaguely, coolly. But I alone knew. Coach was an adult, so he knew just how to keep his feelings from showing. There was even more anger than I was feeling burning deep in his eyes.
いや、重いですね。
Gah. Shit. Shit. I went very far to the doorstep of Satoko's house, but the bag squeezed my palms and started leaving red marks. Fury welled up in me, and the back of my throat stung. Even if it all came gushing out, it wouldn't solve anything. So, just tightly gritting my teeth was as much as I could do.
本当にありがとうございますですわ。監督もケイチさんも。おかげで本当に助かりましたでございます。
We carried them to the back door. Satoko said that was enough. Occasionally, we'd hear the repulsive laughing of her uncle and her friends from within, and my insides would seethe. I knew they weren't ridiculing us. And that was why it made me so mad. Made Satoko shop for all this heavy, selfish stuff, then ignored her and laughed amongst themselves as they pleased. It was deeply aggravating. Of course, Coach had to have felt the same way. But if he accidentally left his feelings slipped onto his face, he'd only cause Satoko more worry. He knew all that, and spoke coolly, as if to say he didn't care.
いいえ、ささやかでもお力になれたなら、お手伝いできそうなことがあったらいつでも言ってくださいね。
ええ、お気持ちだけでも本当に嬉しいですわ。
That he feels that way. Those words were sad. Satoko herself was sad and resigned that we could only help her so much. But she was right. No matter how much Coach or I wanted to help Satoko, it was as much as we could do. I felt absolutely ashamed at not having the power to help her any more than this. Burning, boiling emotions were boiling up within me and rising into my throat. Trembling all over, I almost started to cry from my fury.
俺も力になれることがあったら、頑張れよな。
Hang in there. Wanted to at least give her those trite words saying that I'd help her whenever she wanted.
ええ、ありがとうございますわ。わざわざこうしてここまで来てくださっただけでも
She's so defeated.
嬉しかったですわ。
Satoko seemed to have guessed what I was doing in a place like this. My house was in the opposite direction from school.
さあ、もう行った方がよろしいですわ。今は酔っ払ってますから、どんな難癖をつけられるかわかりませんわよ。
She felt guilty getting us involved after we'd helped her, because she wanted to be the only one to suffer this misfortune. That's how it looked, and it hurt. I handed my supermarket bag over to Satoko. Then I noticed on the back of Satoko's hand, there was something that looked like a bruise.
おい、サトコ、お前まだ熱が。
I knew as much as anyone else how transparent that sounded. Didn't need to hear it from Satoko to know how this bruise came to be.
今年の夏風邪はなかなかしつこいようですわね。気になさらないでくださいませ。
嘘だろ。
Coach nudged me in the back. He put his index finger to his mouth to chide me for being so loud.
本当にありがとうございましたです。では明日、学校でお会いできるといいですわね。
そんな話してないだろ。その手のあざはどうしたって聞いてるんだよ。
Keiichi, honey, read the room. Like, chill. She's gonna get in more trouble. Evening glow finally got to a point where I could see the other concealed over-shaped bruises and traces of swelling on her neck, in her legs, and other places too.
階段から落ちたんですのよ。
The very moment my violent rampaging emotions were about to burst their way out of my throat, I found my mouth being tightly clamped down on. Coach was pressing down on my mouth from behind, wrapping tightly with his hands. Because of that, I couldn't say anything. Only groan. Which I did. That was all I could do. I needed to expel all the magma sitting deep within me. Because otherwise I'd surely explode into a million pieces that very moment. So I groaned. Groaned from my mouth. My whole body. While heat fell in drops from my eyes. Groaned and groaned. I groaned to the point of exhaustion. I could just imagine someone in a sound studio recording this, going like this. Funny imagery. I rang absolutely everything out to myself. Even having lost my voice, I was still ringing it all out.
気持ちはわかります。わかりますから前原さん、今だけこらえてください。お願いですから、前原さん。
Endure it for now, and then what, huh? What happened to her? To Satoko? Body and mind were wounded, and she was being made to suffer like this. You're not even let me howl in vain at it? Is that it, Coach? Are we this powerless? So powerless we can't even fucking scream from the bottom of our hearts? This is a very sad chapter. Voice of the Higurashi made me calm down. Didn't know how long it had been. Satoko abruptly gave a slight bow.
ありがとうございますですわ、ケイチさん。
サトコ。
今、ケイチさんが本当のニーニーみたいに見えました。私の本当のニーニーはいなくなってしまったけど、私にはケイチさんというニーニーがいてくれる。
She made us her Nini.
そうだ。
Now it's official.
俺がお前のニーニーだ。お前が辛い時絶対に助けてやるから。ニーニーがサトコをきっと助けてやるからな。
Satoshi. Satoshi Hojo, you fucking idiot. If not now, then when? Satoko, she's never been in more pain in her life. If her Nini doesn't save her now, then when will he? Why did you run away? Why did you abandon her? Why did you leave Satoko behind? You don't have any right to call yourself Satoko's Nini.
俺は逃げないからな。
I understand that Keiichi's like feeling some kind of way for Satoko, but he's becoming a little unhinged in this chapter.
絶対に逃げない。サトシみたいにお前を見捨てて逃げたりしない。絶対に俺はお前を見捨てない。
Slip. Tears trickled from Satoko's eyes. And then she narrowed her eyes into a smile.
さよなら、ニーニー。
Satoko took her right hand and awkwardly waved to me.
大丈夫ですわ。今のニーニーので、私いっぱい力をもらいましたから大丈夫。明日まで頑張れますから大丈夫。だから今日はさよならでございますわよ。
There's no way that I could say bye, see you tomorrow. And then from inside the house came a throaty, disgusting voice.
サトコ、はよ乾きも持ってこんかい。
さあ、ニーニー、早く行ってくださいませ。もう私は大丈夫ですから早く。
行きましょう前原さん。これ以上はかえって聡子ちゃんに迷惑をかけます。
監督、ニーニーのお家はちょっと遠いんですの。申し訳ございませんが送ってあげていただけます？
ええ、わかりました。
Yeah, we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk in the car, Irie. Coach grabbed me by my collar and with strength I couldn't have imagined him having, started dragging me away. And I, unable to oppose him, started getting farther away from Satoko. waved her hand to us, expression still dark, and disappeared through the back door. Coach got into the car first, then turned around on the narrow path and brought the passenger side door around for me.
前原さんの気持ちは痛いくらいにわかります。いえ、前原さん以上にわかる。でも、今この場だけはこらえてください。あなたの心は確かに伝わりましたから。だから、こらえてください。でないと。もう、わかってます。すみません。さっきはありがとうございました。
Nicolai got into the passenger seat. Car accelerated quietly, and Satoko's house grew farther and farther away in the rearview mirror. Made a wide turn, and then I couldn't see her house anymore.
え？あなたのお家、そんな遠くなんですか？学校の反対側じゃないですか。
Didn't bother to reply. Would have been hard pressed to give an answer as to why I was at Satoko's house. Coach didn't say anything more either. For a while, the two of us were silent. The only sounds from the gravel sprang over the road as we drove. Remembered how Reina said things were different than last year. At the time, she had Satoshi with her. Satoshi protected Satoko, so less of the sparks fell onto her.
でも今は、サトシはいない。はい、残酷ですが、それが事実です。
Coach seemed to understand what I really meant when I said that.
悲しく、あまりに残酷な話ですが、私たちの決意や努力、尽力には限界があります。
Sounded like an excuse, but he was right. Even if Coach and I wanted to be people Satoko could depend on. That was all. It ended at the front door. No matter how much I shouted, that would never be her Nini. Ooh, that I would be her Nini. No matter how much I shouted that I wouldn't abandon her, no matter how much Satoko called me Nini. Couldn't do any more than that.
サトシは一体どこに行っちまったんですか？
Right. Satoshi was another story. Her actual brother Satoshi, he was in a position to protect her far, far better than we ever could. It was the cold, sad truth, and the massive gulf between Satoshi and us.
今頃どこでどうしているんでしょう。
Satoshi left home. Didn't know why. Maybe it was because of Oyashiro-sama's curse, or he disappeared or something. In any case, he wasn't beside Satoko now. The time Satoko needed him to protect her most, he wasn't here.
どうして今ここにいないんですか？一番守ってやらなければならないこの時に。お社様のたたりがどうとかいろいろ言われてますが、家出したとしか言えません。ある日を境に帰ってこないって仲間が言ってました。妹の聡子に書き置き一つ残さずに家出を。
Well, we think he was demoned away by the curse.
サトシ君はコツコツとアルバイトをしてたんです。聡子ちゃんが当時とても大きなぬいぐるみを欲しがってましてね。結構いい値段らしくて、そのためにアルバイトをいろいろとしていたらしいんです。妹思いの兄でしたからね。おじ夫婦のもとで不憫な生活を強いられている妹に少しでも立派な誕生日プレゼントを贈ろうとしているんじゃないかってみんなささやき合っていました。
In the end, he didn't use his savings for a birthday present for Satoko.
サトシ君がいなくなり、警察がいろいろと調べたら、サトシ君の貯金が当日すべて本人によって下ろされていることが分かりました。方々をいろいろと調べた結果、その貯金を資金に東京の方に
If he had really left, he would have taken Satoko with him.
東京？何しに？家出としか言いようがないじゃないですか。自分が逃げ出すための資金をコツコツと貯めて、そこまでは勝手ですよ。でも聡子を置いていくことはないじゃないですか。同じ家出するなら聡子も連れて行くべきだった。
Even now, Coach was still calm. He wasn't trying to pour any oil on the fire by anger at all. He just waited until my anger naturally subsided. After listening to gravel being crushed under the wheels for a little while, Coach broke abruptly.
察してください。置いて行かれた聡子ちゃんも同じ考えに至ったんです。
I'm a burden on my brother, and that's why he abandoned me. He didn't take her with him when he left. Terrible must Satoko have felt being betrayed by the brother she loved so much.
でも聡子ちゃんはとても強い人でした。もちろん親しい友人たちの支えもあってのことでしたが、
ああして笑顔を取り戻すことができました。
Poor Satoko. Recalled how Satoko had spoken of Satoshi so brightly when I was eating dinner with her and Rika-chan a few days ago. At the time, I didn't think any more of it than how pleasant their sibling love had been. Now that I did think about it, I realized it was like she was peering into the distance from atop a pile of tragic perseverance. She don't remember the good about him.
サトシ君はきっと帰ってくる。その時までにお荷物じゃなくなった自分を見てほしいって。
サトコはお荷物なんかじゃないですよ。あいつ俺なんかよりよっぽど生活力はあるし、大抵のことは何だってできる。そりゃレナやリカちゃんなんかと比べれば踊る点はたくさんあるかもしれないけど、そこいらのやつよりよっぽど一人前ですよ。
サトシ君がいつ帰ってきてもいいように、そういう風になれるよう努力した結果です。涙ぐましい努力があったんですよ。
While she lived with Rika-chan, well, Rika-chan taught her how to handle everything flawlessly, also that she could welcome back Satoshi at any time, so she could show him she wasn't ashamed.
で、そのサトシはいつ帰ってくるんですか？
I asked Coach, but knew he wouldn't be able to answer. In any case, Satoshi ran away. He left Satoko and ran away from Hinamizawa. Someone said that when you leave Hinamizawa and run away, Oishio-sama's curse gets you, right? Then that made sense. Satoshi running away and his disappearance. That would obviously mean people thought it was the curse, right? And they could smile, as though it were his own fault, as though he got what he deserved. Hey, Oishio-sama, whoever you are. Satoshi didn't vanish because he ran away. You demoned him away with your curse, didn't you? That's not what happened, then I couldn't forgive him.
サトシはいつ頃逃げ出したんですか？
It was the Watanagashi last year, right?
去年の
Yep.
綿流しのお祭りの夜、おばが異常者に殺されて、その数日後のサトコちゃんの誕生日にで
On
す。
her birthday.
サトコの誕生日に？
Bang. Slammed my hands on the dashboard in front of me with all my might. Satoshi, of all the days. He could have chosen to run away. I'm sure he meant to run away on her birthday. They just died a few days before, didn't she? Our days of suffering were about to end, weren't they? Just about to start thinking about a new life, weren't you? It's wrong to be happy about someone dying, but for Satoko and her brother, her birthday had come at a critical turning point. The mean uncle had fled town, and the siblings would be left alone. They should have been able to be happy about that. It's Satoko's birthday. Satoko was probably waiting for her brother to return the whole time. Waiting for her brother to return when he never did. Waiting with bated breath for her brother to return. Her hopes and dreams of a new life growing even larger. But no matter how long she waited, he didn't come back. Didn't even contact her. Satoko, trembling in anticipation of a great present, just when? When would she have to face the cold, terrible truth? Satoshi, you fucking idiot. You piece of shit, Satoshi. Keiichi is like getting really into it. I could feel my blood rising to my head, and my anger at Satoshi. I was frustrated. I was aggravated. Couldn't forgive him. Satoko so respected and adored her brother, and yet he so heartlessly betrayed her. Such a person wouldn't just come back. Now, when he was most needed. Yes, no one would protect her. Not even her real brother Satoshi.
だからあなたがニーニーだと認めてもらえて嬉しかったです。私もサトコちゃんの幸せを祈る一人ですが、社会的立場があり、日中は仕事をしている身です。私がサトコちゃんのために割いてあげられる時間は少ない。でもあなたは違います。学校で生活を共にし、サトコちゃんやサトシ君とも年はほとんど離れていない。あなたは自分ができることに限りがあると思っていますが、それでも私よりはずっとサトコちゃんに手を差し伸べられる場所にいるのです。だから私の分までサトコちゃんの力になってあげてほしい、そう願っています。
そんなことは監督だって。
もちろん年季のある私だからこそできる助けだって同じようにあなたにしかできない助けだってあるということです。私たちは互いにそれを全うすべきだと申し上げたいのです。
Was that a little too complicated? Coach added that, but I shook my head in response. When I heard him say he had job skills, it reminded me that he was an adult, in a different position from all of us. Maybe I should ask him about it.
監督は法律とか詳しいですか？
いえ、平均的に疎いですが、何か。
Thought back to when I argued with Mion and the others about Satoko. Our children's argument had only left us with the conclusion that we had to wait and see, but what would an adult think?
児童福祉法でしたっけ？児童の安全を確保するために緊急措置として親子を分離させるという。
I don't think that's gonna happen.
緊急措置？じゃあすぐにサトコをおじの元から救い出せるということじゃないですか。
サトコちゃんがそれを望まないかもしれません。
サトコが望まない？どうして？
Coach didn't answer me. I didn't know why he didn't. Clear as day that Satoko's uncle was being violent and treating her like a slave. So then why? I clamped down on my frenzied emotions and waited intently for Coach to answer. But he never did. It wasn't like he was pretending he hadn't heard me. I had to say it was more like he wanted to explain but couldn't put it into the right words.
サトコちゃんは多分そういう仕打ちに耐えるのを試練だと考えているかもしれません。
試練？変な宗教じゃあるまいし。
ご存知と思いますが、サトシ君はサトコちゃんをずっとかばってきました。サトコちゃんもずっとサトシ君に頼ってきました。甘えてきたと言うべきかもしれません。
Known for a while that Satoshi had always protected Satoko from their aunt and uncle. That was his duty as an older brother, not something to worry about.
それがトラウマになったかもしれないんですよ。自分が兄にもたれかかりすぎたから兄が自分を嫌ってしまったんではないかってね。
And for Satoko, the current situation was a retelling of the story of a little over a year ago. This time, Satoshi wasn't here.
だから誰にも頼らずに自分の力だけで試練を乗り越えたい。
Like a self-punishment kind of thing?
そういう力を身につけなければサトシ君は帰ってこない。そういう考えになっていると私は考えます。
Now that you mentioned it, Satoko had never said a word about how hard it had been before. Figured she was being threatened not to talk about it, but
みんなと相談して児童相談所とかに通報すべきかなんて話をしてました。
聞いてますよね。昨年も福祉士さんがサトコちゃんのところに行ってるのは。
はい、結局様子見で余計にいじめられたって話も。
あれ、サトコちゃんが自分で通報したらしいんです。で、その結果余計いじめが水面下へ移行してサトコちゃんに降りかかるいじめも増え、それをかばうサトシ君の負担も著しく増えた。
ひょっとしてそれ通報した自分の責任だなんて思ってるんじゃ。
I mean, probably. Coach nodded quietly.
多分サトコちゃんに通報の話をするととても嫌がるか、その必要はないと強がりを言うと思います。
Or she'd outright lie, like they did last time.
サトコちゃんに内緒で通報したとしても、
Right.
福祉士に対して自分は虐待を受けていないと言い張るでしょうね。
Satoko always acts tough and doesn't readily admit defeat, so I could imagine that easily.
一応児童相談所には裁判所の許可も当事者の許可も一切不要で緊急措置ができる強い権限があるんだそうです。虐待が公然の事実ならサトコちゃんが否定しても身柄は強制的に保護されるでしょう。それはサトコちゃんにとっては負けを意味するものなのかもしれませんが。
勝ち負けの問題じゃないですよ。サトコは現実に。
話を折りますが、身柄が保護されると所定の施設に送致されます。そうするとですね、そこで暮らすことになるので、つまりですから学区変更で転校にもなります。
転校は仕方ないです。それであいつが保護されるなら。
But then she's gonna be away from her friends, from everybody who cares about her.
サトコちゃんはその辺の事情も知っています。だからますます保護を望みません。
どうして？
あの家でサトシ君の帰りを待つのがサトコちゃんの生きる理由でもあります。兄に捨てられた少女が何に生きる理由を見出したか、あなたのでなくサトコちゃんの価値観で考えてあげてください。
But like he was trying to confuse me with that hard-to-understand roundabout way of talking so unique to adults. The point was that I couldn't do anything about Satoko wanting to stay in that house, and that I should watch until she gives in. In the end, no matter what I said, Coach himself was saying to wait and see. She's gonna want to leave the house. She doesn't want to leave.
はい。
俺は本当にサトコが危ないと感じたら誰の意思も聞かずに行動します。その結果サトコは不快な思いをして最終的にはそれがサトコの幸せにつながると信じます。
Coach turned to me and gazed fixedly into my eyes, written all over his face. He was shocked at what such a young kid had said.
どうしてあなたはそこまで
Coach, no, rather normal adults might not have understood. So I taught him the creed and the values that I believed in.
サトコは俺の仲間だから。そして俺はサトコのニーニーだから。では理由は足りませんか？
Stared at him with a will strong and unbreakable as steel as his eyes betrayed a tiny bit of unrest.
いえ、足りないなんてことはありません。
We were silent for a little while until finally, Coach said only that.
誓ったじゃないですか、俺たち。
すみません。
サトコを絶対に泣かせないって。
We made a vow on that day of the barbecue party. Didn't think about it hard at all, but Coach and I still made a promise. We wouldn't ever let Satoko cry. Coach gave a dry grin of regret, immediately apologizing for not remembering. One way or another, when he grinned like that, made me think that his enthusiasm for saving Satoko was a tiny bit smaller than mine. I lightly hit the brakes, making a skidding noise, and leaned forward.
ひょっとして前原さんのお家って、ああ、前原屋敷が前原さんのお家だったんですね。
That would be it. I would live at the Maibara house. If I knew it, we're almost to my house. This is a very sad, sad chapter. Child abuse is always very sad, but like we're not going to be able to help Satoko unless she wants it herself. Ooh, case file. Is this like the social worker's case file, I wonder? Achievement, plain to see. Okay, view new tips. December 1st, 1981. Prefecture Juvenile Welfare Division Report. Do not view, do not duplicate. Case 31, November 20th. Satoko Hojo, years old. Residence, Hinamizawa Village, Shibone. Consultation circumstances. Anonymous telephone SOS of child abuse. Abuse situation. Anonymous claims that a female child is suffering physical abuse by adoptive parents or guardians. Family structure. Marks abusers. Adoptive father, adoptive mother, older brother, child in question. In June 1980, the child's parents died in an accident, and she was given to her uncle on her father's side, her father's younger brother. Child Consultation Center's response. The day of the anonymous telephone consultation, the center called the child's school and asked the situation. Next day, the welfare officer on duty visited the child's home and heard what they had to say. Both adoptive parents agreed to the center's coaching, contacted an anti-abuse network in the city. Part of the suggested coaching, a district welfare officer in the area began visiting and coaching at fixed intervals. The scrawled note below is stapled the report. Related information from former official Mr. W. First 1977 document D23 number 44. Asked Chief Investigator F from the state's educational consultation offices. He's well informed about it. It was very cut and dry. There wasn't like any personal information in there. So like, are we to glean from that like it was a cut and dry kind of thing? Like we did parent coaching and then we never followed up? Like there was no other special notes in there. Huh. All right, well, let's save up here. This has been episode 6 of our Tatarigoroshi chapter. I will hopefully have one up this week or this weekend. I'm trying to put up more content for you guys to watch. But I appreciate y'all watching, and I will catch you for the next episode of Higurashi. Peace.